So, Disco Elysium. Ich weiß gar nicht mehr ganz genau, wie es letztes Mal war. Titus haben wir endlich halbwegs, überreden können, zu kooperieren. Jetzt sind wir auf der Suche nach Ruby. Wo auch immer die rumeiert. Ja. Mal schauen. Okay. Ask about Ruby in the village. Okay. Fisher folk in the village. Maybe their leader knows something. Awful lonely here, no ruckus, no old men playing their little ball game. Where did the old guys go? You mean the guys who were playing pitang? Yeah, where did they go? Have you noticed people sometimes appear and disappear in places? It's called doing things. But what if I wanted to talk to them? You get them next time. The lieutenant replies, looking at the empty crater. Secret task, do not talk to René and Gaston. What? And I mean, it would be one twist too many if it turned out these two old men were our killers. That's just unlikely. No, he seems pleased with himself. We would only have wasted our time here. Lieutenant is thinking of all the time you've spared. He likes it. Okay. Seems the walker was either very confused or drunk out of his mind.
Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon, I can feel it.
The legend! He's back and thirsty. I got smokes and piss and a little speed despite...
Wer ist denn der Anführer vom Fischervolk?
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. What can I help you with?
Ever seen a red-haired woman named Ruby around the coast? Nay, I haven't seen anyone lately. Because she's blind, which you seem to have forgotten. Oh. Okay, but do you know who I'm talking about? This is my little Cinderblock town. She nods with a wrinkled smile. I know what goes on around here. She's being evasive. She knows something. There was a murder in Martinez. He points east. She might be a suspect. We would appreciate your help. What you know? She turns to him. I know how this world works, and it doesn't work when people tell on each other. You know something, we're here to help. Aye, that you are, Dark Omen. Help yourselves and your organization. Help the storm clouds gather on the horizon. She shakes her head. I see, you know something, but you've decided not to tell us. There's not much to tell. People come and go. No, was there something else? I see, ma'am. Lieutenant turns to you. I hope you don't mind if we look around anyway. Should look around your shack. Maybe she's rented it out to others too. I finally checked it, but it's filthy. Could you wash it for me? I can wash it for you, she says after check it over. But it's going to take about half an hour. Think you can stay put for that long? Hell yeah. I could use a breather. It's been another track and field day, Lieutenant says, rubbing his thigh. Yeah, I'll wait. Well, hand it over then, and I'll see what I can do. Must say I'm proud of this one. She nods, handing the jacket back to you. It's pretty nice underneath all that filth. Hope you take better care of it than its last owner. As you look at the floorboards in this corner of the shack, it's clear one of them isn't quite level with the others. The edge of a floorboard next to it looks scratched. Move the board aside. The hollow space underneath the floorboards is dark and damp. You can barely make out the mixture of sand and sawdust below. Okay, Moment. Keine Ahnung, ob das hilft. Aber Taschenlampe. What's in here? Nothing particular catches your eye. Looks like more reeds. There might be something hidden inside the sand, though. Something bad. Someone's night thoughts. A last resort. A bad idea. Stick your hand and start combing through the sand. Dry. Not like outside. Fine dust. And then something hard wrapped in paper. What is it? A small cylindrical bullet. You pull it out. Object. You pull it out. A bullet. Bullet, interesting. The floorboard doesn't care, but maybe the washerwoman does. You have enough to confront her with. It's extra ammunition. She's locked and loaded, ready to fight some cops. Holding the bullet, you get the feeling this isn't ammunition against you. It's for herself.
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. What can I help you with?
Why was there a bullet under the floorboards of your shack? God damn that girl, she murmurs softly. And without anger, a long and harsh life has taught her not to buckle under pressure. A bullet. The lieutenant turns to you and gives you a little nod. Then turns to the washerwoman. You didn't put it there, did you? She did. Gone and hid things in there. She shakes her head. She's usually a good tenant and not a stupid one either. You rented the room to her? The old woman sits in silence, her hands moving into the water bucket. Some water sloshes over the edge. Slowly she speaks, wringing out a rag. Yes, I let my room to that Ruby girl, as I've done before when she's been in trouble, or just looking for solitude. I've made it clear, we welcome all kinds of people here. When was this? She came last Friday, left on Monday, in a hurry. Her wrinkled hand needs a blue rag in the water. What has she gotten herself into, that girl? She seems genuinely worried about her previous tenant. She's seen her hiding out from trouble before, but this seems different. That's for the police to find out. The lieutenant takes out his familiar blue notebook. Right then, please answer each question to the best of your ability. I'm sure we have a few. You said she left on Monday? Yes, early with the dogs, around 8 o'clock, I think. Is the room exactly as she left it? I cleaned it, like I always do. Was there anything else there? No. What is she like, Ruby? She's good company, knows how to talk to an old woman. She rubs her cold hands together. At my age, you don't get a lot of quality conversation, so I really appreciate that about her. Miss Ruby's an old lady whisperer. She knows how to work with the village elder, unlike you. Did she talk to you much during her last stay? No, she kept mostly silent this time, kept to herself. What do you mean? She tried not to let it show, but I could tell she hadn't come to fish. Usually she likes to cast a few lines, but this time she mostly stayed in her room. She wanted to talk to her as they usually do, but she was brooding. Why do you think she left the bullet there? How would I know? She's a gruff one, but not violent. She doesn't go around toting a gun. She looks back towards Shaq, thinking. You could ask her about your hunch that it was a desperate measure. See if she thinks Ruby fits the bill. I have a possible explanation in my mind. Do tell. A seagull flies overhead, obviously a bad omen. It's an exit plan. Exit from what? There's... Lieutenant stops writing for a moment. She looks at you, then at the old woman. She tilts her head to the side, looking up at you deep in thought. Then she makes up her mind. No, she's a fighter. Did she have any technical equipment with her, like radio stuff? Not that I know of, though she was into nice music. She once showed me a few mixtape milieus she'd made. She brushes her forehead with the back of her hand, water drips to the ground. Although I guess she was pretty handy with the mechanical and technical stuff. Even fixed the heater in the shack. You should be thankful for that. She may simply have kept the equipment elsewhere. Where did she go? I don't know. Further up the coast. She tried to leave quietly, but the hinges on that door screeched like a cat in heat. Woke me up. I heard her rushing in those heavy boots, heading up north. After a moment of silence, she says, You'll never find her, you know. Her tone is without malice. She knows the coast like the back of her hand. You only just arrived. I wouldn't worry about that, ma'am. We're persistent. Further up the coast we go, then. Are you sure you wouldn't rather stay here? Get a nice cozy fire going in the heater? She drops the rag into the bucket. It's clean now. Seems like a better idea to me. The felt electric mural. You feel like you should go look at it again. A step closer this time. Okay. One thing, officer. If you do find her, please go easy on her. She looks around. The air's getting colder. She really means it. It's an honest plea. She's a good girl, whatever she's gotten herself mixed up in. Oh, was schneit's? Oh, Schnee. Okay, felt electric mural. It's lit in a concrete sewer. Light vanishes inside of the concrete slit. The structure goes deep under the earth. What is in there? Maybe it's just a storm drain for the shear. Yell ho into the slit. There's no echo and no answer. Kim, any idea what's down there? No idea. It takes his glasses off to polish. Could be connected to one of the buildings around here. Think we might find Ruby down there? We might find her down somewhere. There's an old storm drain system beneath Martinez that's mostly collapsed. Plötzlich meine Taschenlampe bei Tageslicht. Ja. Ja. Warum nicht? Batterien sind irgendwie... halten unendlich lang. Our short sewage system has been built and rebuilt 4 or 5 times now. Puts his glasses back on. In conclusion, she could be under any building, but not in there. He looks into the slit and says, I hope not. Step closer. Above the mural, a collapsed roof, broken windows set in walls that are cracking and will soon also fall. In the coastal breeze, rustling and sighing in the remains of the edifice. There's something in the wind. Sometimes the the only way to go forward is to fail first. Got Ruby in there? In there? She could? Or, he points behind you, she could be in the identical ruin over there. Or in that boat shack, in the church tower, maybe. Listen to the wind. Shivers. Okay. Shivers. Okay, open the bottle. So. Das Ding, wo ich mich schon zweimal verklickt habe. Das ist Satisfying Pop as the cap comes off and the hair on your back rises like an army at attention. You've been here before. Welcome back, detective. You're home now. You see a flash of teeth, a young woman smiling at you near some railway overpass in your ruined past. She's gorgeous, and she's yours. What will be the repercussions if I take that sip? Nothing. Some mental stuff, nothing to be worried about. Physically, you'll be strong as an ox. I'll take a sip. A golden sun melts down your throat. Its rays filling your nostrils with sunshine. Your stomach melts from it into a happy, gooey mess. So does your mind. All the bad things are melting. You're you again, a real cop, a real detective. Incredibly well done. Tutorial Zeug. From the void we came, and to the void we must return. Okay, so. Kaboom! Modifiers plus 11. Das heißt, mindestens eine 3 hätte ich, ja. Ich hätte mindestens eine 3 würfeln müssen. Das heißt, die einzige Chance, das zu failen, wäre kritischer Fail mit 2 Einser. Nice. Even though you're sure you succeeded, all is quiet. There's no cold hand brushing against your forehead, no rustle in the reeds. The wind has died down. The ruin in front of you is silent as a tomb. What was I even attempting to do here? Trying to talk to the wind? The city, whatever you thought would happen did not. And now you're just standing there with your hands fallen to your side. Prayer of sorts to River Shore. She could be anywhere. How do we find her? How do we? I was really hoping she'd be in the village. The lieutenant sighs and gets a hold of himself. Okay. She's probably north of the village, and this place is a peninsula. He looks north. We already scanned most of the outdoor area on our wild cryptid hunt, so we have an understanding of the geography at least. And then there's the church. He looks at the bell tower. We've already searched that and can rule it out. I know it doesn't feel like progress, but exclusion is a step too. Anyway, we do it the old-fashioned way, sector by sector. Go over the whole peninsula, ask the locals, enter the places where we can enter first, like we did in the village. And if that fails, if we don't find her, then, if we're desperate, we can look where we can't enter. Bunkers, storm drainage, this place. I'm sure it won't come to that. He looks behind him at the dark red box crumbling across the chasm. Walk the coast, the old boardwalk, the reeds. You can always come back here and talk to the wind again. Look where it already got you. An adventure awaits, an adventure on the wind-swept urban coast. Listen to the wind again. Suddenly there's a sigh, carried on the molecules around you, moving, flowing from high pressure to low pressure, like that of a woman emptying her lungs. She wraps her collapsing stone box in front of you in her breath. But she wraps the collapsing stone box in front of you in her breath, flowing through it. That's a collapsing stone box. Gebäude. Where does it go? In through the collapsed roof, flowing down a concrete staircase to the basement, sweeping away footprints in the dust on the stairs. And then the beach below the boardwalk, its winding tunnels whisper away. What is happening? She's down there! I think she's down there, below this building. Okay. Why? The wind told me. He shrugs. So, how do we get in there? The doors were on the collapsed side of this building. They're gone, basically. Finally, my time to shine. Okay. There's a ladder next to the sign. Perhaps we can climb them, enter through the roof. Perhaps you can climb them. We are not climbing anything. I'm 43 years old, and I plan to live to see 70. But, Kim? Ist aber keine gute Polizeiarbeit hier. Rusty ladder leads to the rooftop. Some of the rungs are missing. Yeah, that doesn't look good at all. Assess the situation. The distances between the remaining runs are rather wide. You'd have to use the mounting brackets. However, they seem corroded and the peeling rust is razor sharp. Oh, Rietz hat deine Nachricht gar nicht gesehen. Eigentlich für die Musik beim Pausenfenster. Die Musik in den Pausen ist grundsätzlich Video Game Music for Studying. Da gibt's ein paar 25 Videos oder so um den Dreh auf YouTube. Die haben alle relativ ja, zumindest halt Videospielmusik, die jetzt nicht zu nervig oder so ist, die ganz gut in die Pausen passt. Ja, also grundsätzlich im Endeffekt so eine Zusammenmischung aus verschiedenen Videospielliedern, eventuell auch, also ich habe auch gemerkt, sind auch ein paar Remix-Dinger dabei. In addition, the first rung is going to be tough to reach. It's, what, 3 meters above ground and you're 180? 190, I'm a giant. Okay. But still, the roof is collapsing and the wind gets pretty brutal up there. Dismounting from the ladder is going to be hard. Perhaps if you were to not climb the ladder instead, what if you were to do something more subtle? Astral projection, be open-minded about this. What if I don't climb? What if I just teleport? The lieutenant stares at you, stone-faced. Teleportation is not a thing. Come on, Kim, where's your adventurous spirit? This really has nothing to do with adventure. We're dealing with basic physics here. It won't hurt to try. Ah yes, it could hurt. A lot. Teleport to the roof? What? Okay. Yeah, speed. Now that you've acquired some stimulants, it's time for a little pick-me-up. Time to detect. Will it make me into a super cop? It will make you into more than that. A mega cop. This is your modus operandi. This is how you've done it for years. Let's go! Okay, my body is ready. Let's do this. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You raise the peptide bottle, press one nostril close, and inhale furiously with the other. The rush is almost immediate. It tastes bitter and caustic and stings a bit inside your nose. Mamma mia! Now the taste is slowly receding into your throat. The rush is growing in intensity. A little heart pounding like a bird in a cage. A sweat breaks out across your brow. Your jaw clenches. And let's be honest, there's a little chest pain. The good kind, of course. You may want to blast a nose of fat or something. Well, this shit is strong. This shit is disco. Habe ich gerade Drogen genommen? Ja, Speed. Time for a little truth. Tell Lieutenant you did some. Clear the air. Kim, I did a little speed. I hope you don't mind. It was for professional reasons. I'm not your mother. Avoids you gaze. I don't care. Do what you have to do. As long as you remain functional, he thinks. Now let's get back to work. Cool, let's boogie. Spring, everything is clear around you. You're ready to concentrate on the next task in the task chain. Auf geht's. Yeah. All you need to do is close your eyes and concentrate. Darkness enfolds you. You can feel the distance between the bench and the first rung of the ladder. All you need to do is do it. Do it. Pow, crinkle. It's like magic. You feel yourself disappear. Your atoms fading out of existence. Oh my god. I can't believe it. Whoa, what? Bam! You find yourself on the roof, having mastered the art of physical displacement. I did it, Kim. I teleported. I just saw you climb the ladder. The lieutenant shouts from below. You just climbed it. Like a regular person. Oh, not like a regular person, like a face spider. The wind at the top of the building starts howling loudly, blowing away the lieutenant's voice. Faintly you hear, "Never mind. Find a way to let me in when you get inside. Don't go adventuring without backup, especially if we think the suspect may be hiding there. Here." Yeah. Nice. Central support beam has been irgendwas. Upsala. Stones Fall, it's a long way down. Glass is covered with grime and dust. You can barely see out. This collapse nearby steals the basement, one can barely squeeze by. Antiqued office furniture, last century maybe. Brought down and forgotten so long ago. This overturned table is covered in orange mildew, crawling with something. Old file folders in the card documents silvery with mold. Series of thick, dusty panes of glass. This isn't just glass, these are old computation components. The computer components? Yes, filament memory is from the time when wires were cast in glass. Slides with an inlaid nervous system. How'd they do that and why? The how was a closely guarded secret, something that was locked in safes and human heads across the river where they were manufactured. As to why, your fingers don't know. The rusty metal plates that slide apart from a crude door. It's been here under the boardwalk for a while. Who's there? What do you mean, who's there? It's me, Kim. Stop playing around and help me get this door open. Okay. Hey. The doors seem to be on rails, but they've gotten jammed. You grab a side and put some strength into prying it open. With the help of your partner, the two metal panels slide open with a creak. Ah, I hope no one dangerous heard that. How did you even get there? After you climbed up to the roof, you mean? There's a maintenance entrance under the boardwalk. It's next to a drain pipe, possibly a storm drain. It was easy to miss before. He's quite proud of himself. Could have saved me the effort. He shrugs. At least now we have an exit. So let's get going. It's time to investigate these passages. Okay. In the beam of the flashlight, a crevice in the wall. Ooh. Stale fabric smell and dust. No one slept in here in months, maybe years. Studying socioeconomics. Left-wing dialogue plus 4 Erfahrung. Ja. These pots and plates are full of dust and spider webs. Revolutionary propaganda on the bunk bed, ancient flies and brochures. War da hier nicht noch ein gelber? Ist weg. A mustachioed and mutton-chopped man, amateurishly depicted, gazes at you with sad eyes. A plaque reads, K. Mazov. There's a spider web in the lower left corner of the portrait. Brush dust off. Years worth of dust is shaken off, the full head of hair matched by an ample moustache and sideburns look a bit silly. Someone crouches, heels digging into wet sand, hands sweep across the sand, reins sticking to the frayed skin of the fingertips. An old man sits on a slab of concrete and taps his fingers against the glass of a scope. You shudder. Look, it's Comrade Mazov. Yes, I can see that. Looks like some communists were hiding out here. They left a long time ago. Long time ago? How long? Half a century? This was probably part of the network of defense posts the communists built against the amphibious landing. He looks around. I think the purpose of this bunker was to produce propaganda. It would have had radio equipment back then, but that's all been looted. What's with all these secret weapons caches and secret bunkers? We have found a lot of those lately. I guess what most people think of as history tends to linger in rundown neighborhoods. Martinez being what it is, no one has gone through the trouble of cleaning out the old bunkers. Maybe I should move in here. Seems cozy. I won't stand in your way, but only after we're through with this case. Will it be connected to the Mazov bust we found in the students' room? Millions of depictions of Mazov have been produced. They're not all connected. Besides, that looked like some student. The youths always go for that kind of stuff. Could someone have stopped through here recently? He looks at the dust. You mean like Ruby? No, I think we've stumbled on a piece of history. Same slit window you saw from the outside. Could this have been the killer's hideout and this narrow window the point of origin of the shot that killed the mercenary? This does look like an embrasure, a slit made for shooting out of. Peek out. Outside the window, desolation. Snow falls softly onto the coastal sand where it melts almost instantly. On rooftops it lingers. Could the killer have used this as a hideout? It's a great place to hide, and Mazovianism and murder are certainly not mutually exclusive, but there hasn't been anyone here in ages. I can't see the whirling and rags. The shot didn't come from here. Indeed, no one could get a clear view, but at least we've been thorough. I like thorough. In fact, I think we're done with this bunker. Looks to the exit. After you, officer. Footprints in the sand. One of those souls appears more worn than the other. Something in the air, an unnatural buzzing. Tunnel collapsed. You'll have to find another way around. Getting louder, the buzzing sound. There it is again, like a swarm of hornets buzzing on your scalp. A strange tingling you can almost smell. Lieutenant, do you feel something? No. What do you mean? A pain, strange tingling. I don't feel it, but he looks ahead beyond the arc. We should still be careful. There were footprints back there, and I'm pretty sure they were fresh. I saw them too. Footprints with the right sole worn smooth. Looks like our suspect. If she's in here, we need to plan our next step carefully. What do you mean? He lowers his voice. Once we detain a credible suspect who knows what the Union and the Wild Pines will do, we have set in motion events we have no control over. Keep calm. Go over the whole situation in detail. Errod knows more than he told us. Maybe we should continue working for him? You're right. However corrupt he may be, nothing happens in Martinez without him knowing. We might have to dirty our hands, but in this case, we can't afford to be squeaky clean. You think whatever happens will affect our cryptozoologists? You mean moral? I don't see how cryptozoology and the murder investigation are connected. But the situation in the city will get tense for everyone. If it gets that tense, the amateur zoologists might not be able to do their job. How bad do you think things could get? Well, we're not responsible for what we can't predict, are we? I don't think the entire city will be razed to the ground. He smiles in the dark. Let's try not to worry, he thinks. What do you think is waiting for us there? I think I see a cavern. The lieutenant's whisper echoes down the tunnel. Maybe more cellars? I think we've been careful enough. We still have the element of surprise. I wouldn't be so sure. You haven't exactly been sneaking. Or maybe not. He puts his hand to his holster. Either way, once we go deeper, there will be turning back. Ah. Black? What? Concrete pipe buried in sand and dust. Feels strange. Also Stream-Lag oder Spiel-Lag? Weil im Spiel selbst ist ein bisschen, gerade ein bisschen laggy. Oder nicht unbedingt laggy, aber nicht super flüssig. The fuck? Suddenly your entire body is paralyzed. Aggressive white noise fills your skull. Strange pain like you've never felt before. Through the static you hear a woman's voice. It's like 1,000 radio stations are being blasted into your head all at once, but her words are the only ones you can make out.
I know you're feeling pretty uncomfortable right now. Don't move too much or fight it, that'll just make it worse.
Says the shadowy figure by the machine.
Can't say it's a pleasure, officer. I was really hoping not to make your acquaintance. But, here we are.
Stream-Lag. Also bei mir ist... Dürfte, glaube ich, nicht an mir liegen. Bei mir sieht alles in Ordnung aus. The voice coming through the whirlwind of pain is not malicious. She doesn't want to hurt you, but she has to. Doesn't wish to hurt you, not according to her ear canals. Wait, no, not even your ear canals. This is going directly into your neural pathways. Don't cover. That's an awful decision. Why would you not want to shield yourself from it? It's an entirely new type of experience, way worse than all the previous ones. Don't focus on the pain, focus on doing your job. Tell her she's under arrest. Inzwischen ist besser. Okay. You're under arrest.
Really now? Check this out.
She turns the dial in her hand. You're You're overwhelmed with a near surge of violent static. It feels like a blood vessel exploded in your brain. Are you gonna kill me too?
No, I'm not gonna fucking kill you. If that had been my plan, you'd be dead already. All things considered, I'm being pretty reasonable here. I'm using a pale latitude compressor. You and your partner have been caught in its field.
Okay. Blasted from that pale emitter Fat Angus mentioned. Okay, say nothing, try to cover your ears. Should probably check on Kim, that's what good partners do. Look back at Kim.
Right behind you, officer.
Eyes closed, the lieutenant is doubled over. He's still alive and breathing.
The pale latitude compressor is used to sort of make the pale more manageable. With a lot of these, you can force a radio signal grid on the pale. Literally crunch the distance across it. Signals are relayed across a series of repeater stations fixed to buoys. Not a fun job manning those stations. All alone out there in the pale. People lose their minds in just a few years.
Sounds like she knew someone who used to man one of those stations, but she won't tell you about her. Boy, you're one empathetic police officer to have guessed even that right now.
So, what we are experiencing is a concentration of radio waves.
It gestures towards something with great effort.
Precisely. This is an industrial strength paraboloid. It's meant for forcing dimensions on something that doesn't have them. Needless to say, the frequencies used are out of this world. At the upper limit is the large prime number generator station. It's used specifically for pale latitude compression. That's why you might be hearing some numbers. But you might also hear, or think you're hearing, local radio chatter.
She's been holed up in here for a while, with no one to talk to. Keep her talking, you just might get an opportunity to break it loose. How did you get your hands on this thing?
I built it myself.
That's illegal. I'm guessing it's patented. But we are beyond that, aren't we?
Oh yeah, way beyond.
She studies a death ray and the law officials trapped in it. Will I stay like this forever?
No. Once I shut down the compressor, the pain will end. It may take a few minutes for you to steady yourself, though. It's a bit like walking out of a very confusing dream.
Have you experienced a compressor yourself?
Yeah, I stuck my head in there before using it on you. Seemed like the ethical thing to do. Can't say that I enjoyed it. The field was weaker, but I can imagine what you're going through.
This is all great, but let's talk about the man who was killed.
Yeah, let's not talk about that shit. You were hunting me and fell into my trap instead. That's all there is to say about it.
Please, could it just turn it down so I can ask you something?
If you've got something really important to say, you can do it through the white noise.
Damn this!
God damn it!
She regards you and Kim with sudden sympathy.
Fine. If you really want to talk, I can dial it down. I've also got a gun, by the way.
She steps reluctantly out of the shadows. The pain lessens. The gun she's carrying is a two-barreled front loader, not like the murder weapon. Well, it doesn't feel much better, but you can form sentences now. Thinking doesn't seem to hurt as much. Just keep it talking and you'll get through this. How did you know we were coming? I heard you in the passages, and I've been preparing for quite a while. By hiding bullets on the floorboard? So you found my shack, huh? I'm not surprised. Her tone is bitter. She thinks she's been betrayed. She didn't rat you out, by the way. Isabel, the washerwoman. So nice. She smiles a little smile. That's one knife I didn't want to find in my bag. You're desperate, aren't you? I was, before I caught you in the pale latitude compressor. I'm fine now. It was dark in the shack, the waves outside had calmed down. She looked at the loaded gun, then she cracked the barrel open and took the bullet out. Not today. Did you shoot Lily, blah blah blah? No, I didn't do it. I only helped stage the lynching. I doubt that makes much of a difference to you. Who ratted me out, by the way? Was it Titus? No, she hesitates. He wouldn't have broken first. You're right, Clausia was the first to share a suspicion. Oh, she smiled sadly. Near the kitten had claws, but not like this. But she couldn't have known I was on the coast. How did you find me? Titus told me. It took some convincing. Oh, fuck. Took some convincing my ass. Those guys like me. I know it. If this is what happens to people whom people like. A dull despair is creeping into her voice. How the fuck do the rest of you get by? Wait, wasn't it you who called me the human can opener? It's not personal. I opened them up. I did, didn't I? And now you've come for me. She scoffs. But fuck them all the same. That it make her forgive them a little. I do it by asking questions, and I have some for you. Like what? She adjusts the grip on her gun. I already told you I didn't do it. Would you say that Larry was a likable person? I didn't like him. Hardened mercenaries aren't particularly likable types. Do you feel protective of the Union? Yeah, sure. I didn't like Wild Pine sending in those foreign hirelings. Me and a fuckton of other people around here. She didn't hate him, okay? You don't feel sympathy for mercs? It's hard work. Plenty of broken people who don't come with that kind of body count. Besides, they're paid well for what they do. Do you have an alibi for when Lelai was shot? Man, I was with the boys the whole night. I hope they at least bothered to impress that upon you. They did say you left to take a really long leak, 15 minutes. And I'm sure they also made some funny remarks about it. They always do. I've driven a lot of long haul and chugged a lot of beer, man. She scoffs. Can't do either without some power of mind over bladder. And anyway, that wouldn't have been enough time. Hold on, no one takes a 15-minute leak. Look, fuck you, man. I might have also stopped by the bar. Our investigation has shown that 15 minutes was just enough time to commit the murder. Oh, now I'm curious. Please explain. Look, there's a secret way from the first floor of the whirling to the roof. Don't know it, but also she frowns, studying your face, evaluating your competence as a police officer. The shot couldn't have come from the roof, or we would have all heard it downstairs. She has a point there, no one mentioned. The pain stops him from finishing the sentence. That didn't go super well. You've got to lay something better on her. You have a gun? And I see it's a front loader. Do you have another gun somewhere? Sure don't. Breech loader? No. Such a wipeout. More questions before doing anything. Okay. You have a gun. Where did you get it? Gun store? What gun store? Trigger happy checks. Really? Trigger? What did you think? That I'm going to squill my gun supplier? Sorry, I'm not that kind of gal. I can't quite tell what kind of gun it is. Nachtway 80 front loader, 2-barreled. Not really what you were looking for, I'm guessing. That isn't it. Do you collect guns? Maybe old rifles? No, they're not practical. Break too often. Do you like to hang out on rooftops? Who doesn't? Oh, you probably mean Classia's rooftop. Sure, I've hung out there. She's got this great antenna. Is that the only reason you hung out on the roof? The view's pretty bomb too. But you might say the antenna was the main attraction there, yeah, along with Classia. What's so great about her antenna? It's very powerful. I used it to tune into RCM frequencies. That's how I knew to be prepared for your arrival. So you're sure you didn't shoot the merc from the roof? Yes, I'm sure. And anyway, as I said before, the shot had to have come from afar. Did you leave any flowers for Classy on the roof? No, gifts or flowers and candy aren't really my style. These weren't just flowers, they symbols of revolution. So now I'm leaving revolutionary symbols around? Come on. Was that pity for you? She sees you grasping for straws here. But Classy was mourning. I never did understand why, when someone dies, a hot house's worth of flowers has to die too. Okay, so you didn't leave Maybells? No, I did not. You're running drugs for the union. I've been through your lorry. Shakes his head slowly. So Heart of Gold Tommy fucked me over too. Never trust a musician. That really comes as a blow to her. Yeah, I made him talk. Yeah, the figures. She shrugs. What now? You're going to arrest me for drug trafficking? You're a criminal, I can't trust anything you say. Just goes, that's your prerogative. You had a financial incentive to kill the merc. Man, it's to get away from all that murderous shit that I left Shamrock, my previous employer, for the Union. Lieutenant is unable to articulate his question. She turns the knob down just a millimeter, then continues. I got lucky being a dispatcher. Never had to do any of the really dirty work myself. This gun, she glances at it, has only been used for self-defense against serious scum. There, it's going to be easy to reach the machine now. But you're threatening us with it. Based on what? I've heard about you. You are serious scum. She responds, holding her gaze. Who killed the merc if it wasn't you? How should I know? As I keep saying, he already had a bullet in his head when I got to him, and there hasn't been any useful gossip over the radio. Those rings around her eyes, her tired voice. She's been staying up late listening in on the conversations crisscrossing Martinez. Police radio? You've been following the case? Who hasn't? She shrugs. You know, I can still see him there in Classia's room, lying on his side. It was still warm, but the bluish light coming through the broken window made him look as though he'd been dead for a good long while. What happened Sunday night? Tell me your version. She eyes you warily as though gauging your sincerity. It's okay, we just want to... He struggles to finish the sentence. Alright, don't kill yourself over it. I was shooting the shit with Hardy and the boys over a few beers, like always. Then Classy comes in, all pale and shuddering. She sits down with a drink, trying to steady her nerves, so I grab a seat next to her. Wait, did she also seem high to you? Oh yeah, super. But I didn't think too much of it at first. I'd seen her party hard before. Claudia said you knew something was wrong immediately. No, I really didn't. She's not that easy to read. I just assumed she'd done too much blow. It wouldn't be a first for her, but no such luck. She was in some deep shit. She asked me to come upstairs. The merc she'd been going with was lying on the bedroom floor, dead. I knew she couldn't get the authorities involved, so yeah. It made it look like he'd been hanged. How did you manage to come up with a plan so quickly? What? No. Faking lynching was her idea. Her idea? Yeah, in cold blood. It really surprised me how quickly she was able to get a hold of herself once she got up there. We got up there. It was like she was another person. The party girl was gone. She asked me to help her drag him into the shower so she could wind the shower head around his neck to fake lividity. Then she dressed him while I went to get the Hardy Boys. That's bad that she'd be so calm. I wasn't sure whether to admire her or be disturbed. Do you think she killed Lelai herself? As I kept telling you cops, we didn't hear anything downstairs, no gunshot, nothing. But even if this is true, the lieutenant forces himself to finish the sentence. Weren't you worried this lynching might lead to... war? She purses her lips. The thought crossed my mind, but the mercenary's death was going to have repercussions either way. Although the way things are going... Ah, fuck it. I'm not responsible for these people after what they did to me. If you didn't kill him, why hide? I saw you roll into town. I wasn't about to stick around for questioning by a goddamn La Puta Madre agent. So this is what she was scared to tell Titus. This cop. What do you mean, La Puta Madre agent? She looks at you quizzically. Yes, you. Everyone says you're his peon, his human can opener. Oh, what? Through the sudden sharp pain in your head, you hear the lieutenant mumble something to himself. Fucking hell. And why me? You hear through the white noise. It's especially bad suddenly. It felt like a vein exploded. Who's everyone? How do you know this? Everyone in Shamrock, the cops, the criminals. Why do you think I'm holed up in here with a goddamn death ray, waiting for you? La puta madre. I've heard of La puta madre. He's dangerous, right? Is that a joke or a threat? I'm guessing both. I'm sorry, I know I'm supposed to know about this, but I lost my memory recently. Yeah, sure. I'm sure La puta madre himself will explain it all to you soon enough. What did you do to this madre anyway? You've been to my lorry, you think the biggest player in Shamrock appreciates competition. And now I have Harry can opener in my lair. Fucking Titus. She's not going to change her mind that easily. She still perceives you as a threat. Do you know about the bunker next door? What bunker? Just a place some comrades stopped through. A revolutionary bunker. Don't know anything about it. No one's been around since I set up camp, but I'm sure I'm not the first vagabond here. Vagabond 2. A voice trails off into white noise in your head. It feels like an aneurysm approaching. Keep calm, breathe in. After the pain recedes, it's a little cleaner. Na, endlich! You did it. The compressor lies broken on its side. It's quite in your head again. It still hurts like hell, but... You okay, Kim? Lieutenant Hunch is recovering. Oh, good, officer. Be careful. She looks at the machine, assessing the damage. Her hand trembles. Ah, fuck it. She puts the barrel of the gun into her mouth. Das ist aber nicht in ihrem Mund. Ach, fuck. Oh! Nice! She's truly desperate. She thinks she has no other option. You need to give her options. What options? You know. Maybe I can still talk her out of it. This is how you talk her out of it. It's the only scenario in which she lives. wish I could just let you go, but I have to follow protocol. Ah, fuck. Do we do now? We clean up. He looks around. It may take days for processing to pick up her body. We need to move it somewhere. He squints into the darkness. That tent there. Dark water trails into the distance. There's no way out. Cooking utensils. She has prepared herself porridge with bananas. The plain red tent stands by dispassionately. It was pitched by practiced hands. She was used to camping out inside. You see a rolled up sleeping bag and personal belongings. You should put her in the sleeping bag so the rats don't get to her. Okay, let's carry her over here. Hey. Okay. 10 knots. She lies cocooned in the sleeping bag, surrounded by empty cigarette packs, books and half-read magazines. Shine a flashlight on the books and magazines. Assorted soft covers. Mostly pulp horror. Motor carriage lies buried in the snow on one cover, on another a ghost airship. You also see a collection of radio enthusiast magazines. Lieutenant peeks in over your shoulder. See anything? Sift through the magazines. Read your monthly Journal of Material Science, more technological digest. One of the magazines doesn't have images on the cover. It's not a magazine, it's a leather notebook. You pocket the worn brown leather notebook journal. She watches by motionless. We should read this immediately, like right now. Okay. Thick journal cover is worn, like someone used to carry it around in their back pocket. Examine the cover. It's made of full grain leather. Lower left corner of the back cover sports an embossed brand name, Schneller. This was important to her when it was still hers. Unwind the strap. The journal folds open. About 2/3 of its ruled pages have been filled. Study the handwriting. Large cursive of someone who writes quickly and confidently. Perhaps too confidently, many phrases and even paragraphs that have been crossed out, with tiny corrections scrawled above and in the margins. Flip through the pages. It's a mix of logistical notes, diagrams and personal reflections, all dated. We could learn a lot from this. What kind of logistics? Hard to tell exactly, it's mostly noted down in code. Looks like contact information, quantities, directions. There could be useful information about local operations in those notes. We have a junior sergeant at my station who's good with codes. I can give this to her after we finish this. Professionalism is his coping mechanism. What are the diagrams of? Esoteric radio technology, the most recent ones probably pertain to the latitude compressor. Sketches, calculations of distance and density you make out of familiar spiral shape. Anything personal. Short, wry observations of people and places, probably a way to pass the time on the road. Also what appear to be attempts to sort through some difficult decisions. There are a few passages with many questions in them. How far back do the entries go? The first entry is from August 2nd of last year. It reads simply, I know my position is precarious, all I can do is make myself as useful as I can while looking for a way out. Remember, no one is indispensable. What did she write the day Lelai died? Lelai, blah. Nothing on March 4th, March 5th though. Well, that's bound to come back and bite me in the ass. I'm bad at this, loyal to a fault, but that's another matter entirely. You have no idea what she means. These are personal notes, don't expect to understand all of it. Anything about La Puta Madre? That name isn't mentioned as far as you can tell. No mention of La Puta Madre. What about this M? He points at the page you're staring at. Could this be La Puta Madre? Here, March 9th and March 15th. Read the entry from March 9th. Right, M's peon is coming to town, no doubt to investigate the lynching. But also, I feel it in my gut to finally put a bullet in my head. But I'm napping in my lorry or on a smoke break. Well, I won't stick around just to twist my own neck by constantly looking over my shoulder. Then again, isn't that what I've been doing ever since I got the call? The call? Did M call her personally? Why? Were you supposed to find her, even apart from the investigation then, on M's request? No. You wouldn't do something like this. This must be a mistake. I'm sure it's a mistake. Look at me. Whatever you may look like, you don't feel like a hired assassin. Read the entry from March 12th. Been holed up here for 3 days now. I'm used to being alone and all, but I don't know when I'll be able to leave or if I'll be ratted out. They will rat me out, of course. I've made it a point to believe in the best in people, the boys for example, but experience tells me, did M feel truly betrayed by me? I was feeling threatened. He'd have to know if he threatened people, they'd take measures to protect themselves. Even I know that. Economic measures first of all. Gonna make a living, right? I can still hear his voice in the receiver. Taste the plastic. Entry ends abruptly. What's the most recent entry? Most recent entry is from today. It reads, even when I leave here, if I leave here alive, what's my next move? Staging a lynching is a crime, even if I'm not accused of murder on top of that. Forever on the run, not really my idea of the open road. Man was really looking forward to winning. I don't think she killed the mercenary. The lieutenant taps on the page. It looks like she might have been framed. So her thing was a detour and a fatal one, he thinks. Don't get emotional. Okay, what do you mean framed? By the Hardy Boys, by Classy, by us. Can Emma really a la puta madre agent? He looks her straight in the eye for a moment, then sighs. No, I don't think you are. Ask someone in your precinct if you want to be sure. Then who do you think killed the merc? Could have been Titus. Then again, pause to think. But no one heard the shot. Maybe there's a hardy boy we've yet to meet who acted as his accomplice. Either way, we need to keep an eye on him. One thing is for certain, we have business back in the whirling in rags. Questions to ask. We should get to it. Okay. Okay, jetzt habe ich ein bisschen mehr Leben. Ja. Wir kommen voran, zumindest. Story geht voran. Mal schauen. Beim nächsten Mal. Wie es weitergeht.